Welcome. This video will show you how to use Excel to graph a function and then take the graph of that function and paste it into Microsoft Word. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is we need to label our two columns A and B. And I'm going to put the label of X for column A and the label of f of X equals X squared for B. So what we're going to do here is we're going to graph the function f of X equals X squared, and we're going to do it for X between -3 and 3. Go ahead and place a value of -3 into cell A2, and then we're going to put the value of -2 into into the cell A3. Now if I go ahead and drag that down to A8, that will give me all of the values of X that I want to plot on my graph. After I've specified the values of X that I want to plot at, then I need to calculate f of X equals X squared with each of these values of X. And I do that by putting equals. Then I can select the cell that I'm interested in calculating on, and then I want to square it. Notice that in Excel that the exponentiation is done using the little caret. So here I have A2 squared. So this will take the value in cell A2 and it will square it. Hit return. And I want to copy that same calculation into the remaining B cells, B3 through B8. So each of the B cells here I get by taking what's in the A cell and squaring it. Now that I've generated the data, then I'm ready to go ahead and graph. So go ahead and select the values of X and f of X that we want to graph. Then I select Insert at the top, and I select Scatter. Again, select Scatter and not Line. So I select Scatter, and then I'm going to select the second icon here, which will give me a plot of the points, and it will connect the points with a smooth curve. So here is the graph of X equals f of X from -3 to 3. If you look at this graph, we may want to change the appearance of the graph slightly to include some other information. So go ahead and click on the graph and then come up where it says Chart Layouts. Click this button and pick Layout 5. The reason we're picking Layout 5 is because we want the graph to include some additional information, for example, labels on the X and Y axes, and also a title. So I'm going to change the X-axis label to X and the Y or f of X axis to f of X. The title, I'm going to type what function I'm graphing. So the function I'm graphing here is f of X equals X squared. And finally, I will delete the legend because it's not necessary. If you look at the graph, you notice that what Excel is doing is it's plotting the 7 points over here that you've specified. You'll see them, right? The first point's -3,9, which is right there, and then -2,4, which is right there, and so forth. And then what it does is it actually draws a smooth curve between those points, kind of what you would do as if you were graphing this by hand. Now that we have the graph in Excel, I want to go ahead and copy and paste this graph into Microsoft Word. And this is useful because sometimes in the homework that you're going to turn in, you want to actually submit the graph that you've generated in Excel. And this is a good way to do it. So go ahead and right-click on it, pick Copy, open up your Word document, right-click, and paste, and there you are. This concludes our presentation on how to create or how to graph a function in Excel and then paste that graph into Microsoft Word.